RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there having a good time. I guess we're up for that update again, right? We're about to start October. Expecting a lot of kind of the same stuff this month. So I'll kind of, I guess, caveat it. Let's put it that way. How about that? So anyway, this is, of course, Dan RadioStyle. To cover the business, please feel free to contact me at spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com. Always love to hear from people and get some feedback, questions, whatever you got going on. And of course, like I said, we're covering the and the song. I always forget to mention that, right? That's an important part. That was Genesis off the Invisible Touch album, and it was the second part of the song Domino, which is called The Last Domino, that portion, and always was kind of a fave. So anyways, yes, there's the business for us. A lot of great things are going on. As we've talked about in the past, I want to remind everybody that the sacred breath is going to be an extremely important portion of how we're going to deal with a lot of these moments in life that are coming up. We're being bombarded by information, by options, by choices, by work, by all sorts of different avenues at the same time. Your kids, your family, your husbands, your spouses, everything, right? Everybody's coming at you with something, and you're having to find out how to deal with all this. So that really is, I keep saying everything's crescendoing up, right? I've been saying that for, 2 months now? We had a little lull, I want to say, back in July, and it was really nice. But things are still just ramping up. Like I said, I joke about it when I go into work. I walk in, it's like I jump into a blender and it spits me out at the end of the day. It just feels that way. So these are a lot of the things that we're going to be dealing with. So a couple things I kind of want to cover before I get back into, it's speeding up, let me kind of caveat it a little bit. A few of the places that I get some of the information, or at least here's how I generally try to couple or put together these updates, right? Because I don't have any clue what the hell is going to happen at the end of the month, right? But this is kind of the energy that's going on. This is sort of the vibe. And so I look, so there's some sources that I kind of look into that I think have some pretty solid information. I don't think anything out there, certainly myself, don't ever trust any one source for like 100% accuracy, because that's crazy. Everyone's got their own filters that they're working through. So that's one thing, right? Obviously. But there's some sources that I find to be generally pretty high in the trustability range. Even the stuff that's a little wonky is close enough for all intents and purposes. So I kind of look into some of those things and see what's going on. There are certainly a lot of people that are close to me that represent different segments of the population. So understanding what they're going through gives me some insight into kind of the general gist amongst everybody, I guess, or maybe a slight finger on the pulse of society, possibly. Also, we got some how things are happening to me. I'm like looking at my own notes. I'm like, what the hell did I write here? But how things happen to me in my own world. Certainly little things pop up, this is kind of what's going on for me. This is probably going to be kind of the trend coming up as well. There are certain things I have hunches and feelings about. I usually try to leave those more to the wayside. I mean, they help guide a lot of these, and I'm certainly, when I do these, I have very little notes. So a lot of this is all just kind of off the cuff anyway, so that covers the feeling stuff. And then there's just sometimes some really random things that pop up. I drive by and I see, it's funny, I've done shows way in the past about manifesting 101, in fact, if you want to go find the old show. But it talks about a beach ball. And the beach, I saw one the other day. I was driving into my complex, and there's a beach ball down the way just sitting in the curb. And I just started laughing. I'm like, there's the beach ball. So random events happen, and they make me chuckle. Can't help it. So these are all the different places I'm getting this from. So again, I want to try to help people get to the understanding that we're ramping up because life is pretty much speeding up on us. Call it due to technology, call it due to all the things that are out there, all the choices, all the options we have, how busy we are. We're all working crazy amounts of hours. All of these things are basically speeding up your day, right? Back in the day, you might look back and go, oh, what was I doing 3-4 days ago? Oh, I remember I was hanging out with so-and-so. Nowadays, you might look back 3 hours and be like, I barely, what was I doing? We are truly being bombarded. So a lot of us are having to learn, essentially, how to kind of live in a more multi-dimensional universe, right? There's a lot of spiritual talk out there that we're certainly going to progress into a 4D and possibly 5-dimensional kind of existence. I don't know what that means. I'm a 3-dimensional guy just like you're a 3-dimensional person as well. But I imagine it's very, very different. And lately, all of this having to deal with things coming at you from multiple angles, multiple times, multiple moments, that kind of hit me as like, yeah, this is kind of what it is. Like, here you're taking it in layers. You're absorbing more simultaneously than you ever could before. Things are happening so quickly, and now we're getting doubled and tripled up right at the same time, and being able to sort of deal with this. But this is kind of freaking a lot of us out. So you really have to remember, where can you get your time out? Where can you get your downtime? Where's a place where you might be able to grab 2-3 minutes, right? Do your sacred breath, just calm yourself, just be yourself, be with yourself, and give yourself a chance to kind of, okay, cool, now I'm ready to go again. Because it's not exactly gonna stop. So we've kind of got to learn to work through the chaos. And believe me, the chaos is continuing. I don't know how far into the future it's going to be before I honestly feel like we're going to get a little pause for the cause, because frankly, it seems like at least through the end of the year right now, from where I'm sitting, things aren't going to slow down. And obviously, as we head into the holidays and all that stuff, the end of this month for all you people with kids, right? We got Halloween, then bam, it's Thanksgiving, then bam, it's Christmas, New Year's. Oh, okay, and then, now we got a lull coming up. We got a lot going on, and I don't see it slowing down for us. In fact, probably more the opposite. So again, as I've been saying for months, ramping up. It is, it's going to be ramping up for sure. Also, some other things that I think are kind of interesting, and I don't know if I'll have any other closing thoughts after this, but this might be close to the end of the deal here. But there's a lot of major changes that are brewing in all of us, and what I've noticed in myself, and I'm not 100% sure where the people that are out there listening fall into this, so I guess I'll cover it from kind of the, little squishiness, if you will. But there's a couple things in my life that were changes, like choices, right? I had some choices before me, had some pretty serious possibilities in my life, like like major change type things, like, new career type things or new relationship type things, like those kinds of significant things. And changes or decisions, that I've made about these things. And now I'm actually starting to really notice how everything is starting to actually unfold. Like, I got on the I don't know, for anyone that's surfed, there's probably, small population, but getting on a wave, if you've ever body surfed or boogie boarded or anything, and you get on that wave and that wave starts to push you, it's that. Like, I've made the choice. This is the wave I'm taking. And then you just kind of notice the ride. You notice the things that are happening. So I've really been noticing a lot of this. Now, granted, still everything's going like a mile a minute. Everyone's going super fast. But I'm also kind of seeing little patterns, little hints, little pieces of magic that, again, so all of these things that I've talked about in the past, they're still happening. They're just happening at a really rapid level. So now you're probably seeing 2 to 3, different things at the same time than when maybe you would have saw one. So all these decisions, I should say, I'm seeing unfold. And I think there might be some of us out there that maybe have in front of them large changes. I certainly know some of my friends that, went through the whole grocery store thing I told you guys about last time. They've been living the change, so I know they know what I'm talking about, because it's kind of the same thing. Like, I saw one of them actually at the other grocery store we have to shop at now, in the meat department. It's like, hey man, it's nice to see you again. He said the same, same to you. So people are living the change. They're moving out and doing whatever it is that happens once you decide I'm moving on. But the people that maybe have these choices in front of you, one, fear not, because you probably have someone around you that can kind of support you through the change. But two, the cool thing is, once you kind of make up your mind, once you finally decide what the decision is, that doesn't mean you have to instantly engage in action to make it happen. Just making up your mind, this is what I'm going to do, and then kind of watch what happens with the universe. It's amazing. There might need to be, they call it sun energy when you go out and have to do something, right? So there might be a little sun energy. You might have to make a phone call. You might have to sign some paperwork. You might have to figure something out, fill out a resume, whatever, right? You might have to do something. But then kind of put it out there and see what comes back. A little moon energy, they call it. It's a little more receptive. It's not so much doing, it's more receiving. So again, I think a lot of us are going to be going through these kinds of things. Again, this is part of the multiple dimensionality. It's not just being busy and I have to go to the grocery store and I have to take care of my kid and I have to take him to soccer and I have to work and I have to do this and that. But at the same time, we're also spiritually developing. Yeah, throw that little notch in the works, right? We got all this crazy stuff going on top. Like I said, I've got some very close friends to me that it's amazing watching how they're blossoming and brightening up, and really these things are the questions they ask, the things they're seeing, the things they're paying attention to. It's truly amazing, and I'm reasonably sure this is a lot more common than I realized, because it's kind of a crazy thing. People don't talk about the crazy stuff, right? So the few people that have come to get to know me in life and are actually listening to this, yeah, we got a lot of crazy going on. So I hope everyone out there's good. Again, Dan, RadioStyle. I'm doing it. That's our October 2015 update. I hope everybody out there is hanging in there. Remember, your sacred breath, it's huge, huge. Just like 2-3 breaths, and your day is good. So remember, it's in deep through the nose, and then slowly exhale out the mouth. A little bit of pause in between. Boom, do that a few times. You're golden. All right, Dan, RadioStyle. We'll be doing another one. And if I got any ideas for shows, there's some stuff I want to do, but there's some really weird stuff going on out there, and I keep wanting to talk about it. And then the other part of me is like, yeah, you probably shouldn't. So we'll see if I get into it. See, one day I might get crazy and try something like that. And, of course, contact me at spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com. And I appreciate everybody. And certainly if you like this stuff, feel free to share it. Just please make sure my channel info's in there, and all that stuff is groovy. Thank you very much. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.